街はこんなに綺麗で輝いているのに、一年中で一番楽しい季節なのに。二人が人混みの間を縫って歩いていると、知らないうちにシーズタワーへと近づいていました。タワーはこのツインシーズの街の真ん中に立っています。
Ho 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 everybody, and welcome back for an extra festive edition of Shoreviewken. Today we're taking a look at one of my all-time favorite Saturn games, and that's Nights into Dreams and its holiday-themed counterpart, Christmas Nights. This series, of course, comes to us by way of Sega and Sonic Team, and it was originally released in July of 1996, with Christmas Nights being released later that December. In Japan, it was included as a pack-in game with every Sega Saturn that was sold that holiday season. But in North America and Europe, it was bundled with certain Saturn games, and even with copies of Sega Saturn magazine. The setting of Nights is a dreamland called Nightopia, which is under siege by Wise Man the Wicked, a denizen of the other dreamland known as Nightmare. He's trying to steal everyone's dream energy so that he can rule over Nightopia. Two kids named Elliot and Clarice enter Nightopia while sleeping, and as it turns out, they have dreams that Wise Man is unable to steal. So they free the title character, Knights, from Wise Man's imprisonment, and the three of them band together to defeat him and his minions, and save Nightopia along with the dreams of all humanity. The gameplay in Nights is really simple, and some might say a bit too easy, but I think it's just great. It's basically a series of free-flying obstacle courses where you zip through as quickly as you can, collecting enough blue orbs to blow up the dream-snatching devices in various areas of each stage. You can also collect gold stars, fly through rings, and take out enemies, and doing all of this as quickly as possible earns you bonus points, which go toward your overall rating for each stage. It's only after getting at least a C rating in all of both Elliot and Clarice's stages that you can go on to the game's finale. Also, you're working on a time limit, so you have to move quickly. Otherwise, you revert to playing as one of the two kids, and if you're caught by the alarm clock, then it's game over. Each level does change things up a bit, maybe switching to an overhead or rear view camera at times, or having Knights go underwater, or flying straight up into the air, but no matter what position the camera takes, the gameplay always remains really smooth and fun. Each stage is also followed by a boss battle with one of Wiseman's evil minions, and these are all really fun too and diverse. Each boss is unique and requires a different strategy to defeat. Overall, yes, this is an easy game, but that's never really bothered me because it's so fun. It's kind of a more leisurely game for when you don't necessarily want to be challenged. You just want to have a good time. Christmas Nights plays the exact same as the original, but you only get one stage to play in, though its layout does change depending on which character you choose. The coolest thing about Christmas Nights, and really the only reason to play it, is that by setting the game clock to December 25th, everything becomes Christmas themed, to reflect the Christmas dreams of Elliot and Clarice. The stage, the characters, the music, there's even a great intro and ending that really capture the spirit of the holiday. Not only that, but you can also set the clock to a couple of other holidays to get some similar results. Plus, after you complete a stage, you get to open your presents. It's a match game, and every match unlocks a cool little bonus, such as image galleries, a Sonic minigame, and even a bit of karaoke. Even though there's really not much to Christmas nights, I still play through it every year just to get myself into the festive mood. I only wish there was a full version of this game, just stage after stage of Christmassy goodness. The graphics and sound design in Nights I've always thought are some of the best on the Saturn. It makes the best possible use of the hardware. It's a well-known fact that the Saturn isn't exactly a 3D powerhouse, but Nights graphics uses 3D kind of sparingly. All of the characters and interactable objects, like the barriers and that kind of thing, are fully rendered in 3D, but if you look to the background, it's actually one large 2D image that matches the look of the foreground, adding a lot of depth without overpushing the Saturn's 3D capabilities. On top of that, this is a very colorful and detailed game with some great character designs, and it runs very smoothly. I especially like when the camera whips around, giving us different angles and even changing the control up a bit, but without any interruptions to the gameplay itself. The soundtrack is also awesome. It matches a kind of whimsical tone to go with the dream aspect, with some 90s dance beats, which granted dates the game, but then again, everything about this game dates it. The look, sound, and gameplay. I don't know if this is anything I'd listen to in the car, but when playing the game, it just feels right. It perfectly matches the imagery. Like, it's not necessarily my kind of music, but I couldn't imagine Nights having anything else for a soundtrack. And that really extends to the game as a whole. I just couldn't imagine it any other way. The look, the sound, the feel of Nights all just mesh so well together and create a kind of flow, I guess. That's what makes it one of my favorite Saturn games, regardless if it's the main game or its Christmas offshoot. So, Nights into Dreams is a game that I think every Saturn owner should have in their collection. It's a lot of fun, it's unique in its overall design, and it's just so distinctly Saturn. And distinctly Sega as well, and games like that just shouldn't be missed. It's like all of the skill and imagination of Sonic Team were laid out on display for all to enjoy. And, if you can, I highly recommend getting yourself a copy of Christmas Nights. It's just a tiny little game really, but it's packed to the gills with holiday cheer. And if you're anything like me, it's something you'll go back to year after year, like a classic Christmas cartoon or song. It'll only cost you a few bucks, but for something that you can break out every December to get the mood right and put yourself in the holiday spirit, it's priceless. So don't delay, and don't be a Grinch. Pick up both games immediately and have yourself a Merry Christmas night.
みんなの心に輝く星を。メリークリスマス。